Welcome once again back to the Gateway. I've got four of our general regulars here. We missed recording last week, but we are back at things. Um, thank you for joining us, and I would like to throw it to my players for anybody who wants to inform Jeb and our viewers of what we did last week.
It was basically a shopping episode. Preparation to go. Oh no, we
Mm-mm.
actually did. That's right, we did do something.
You're thinking the episode before.
Yep.
Yeah, I was. Uh, we went and got the water. The Was it living water that we needed?
No, it was
And
enchanted.
Enchanted water.
We filled a
So
bag of
that
holdings.
yeah, we filled a bag of holding with several hundred pounds.
30 gallons of enchanted water.
Yeah,
We needed an ounce.
I think that was right. 30,
yep,
was it 30 or was it 32? It doesn't matter. A lot, and we only needed an ounce. Or,
Yeah,
somewhere
uh,
between 30 and 35 gallons, and
I wrote it down. It's 30.
okay.
you only needed the ounce.
Well,
Mm.
Weston Smith, Weston, wait. Smith is a great guy, He could use a little extra enchanting water.
Little. Um, but yes, thank you for doing the recap and bringing us back. So with that, we're going to swirl back out of the darkness of reality and into our wonderful little fantasy world of the Gateway. Our vision and attention comes back into our one of our most favorite places to come back to, the light, soft colors and soft twinkling music in the air, and the water just slowly slowly trickling behind in this angelic uh, hotel room, basically.
Oh, I
Mm.
thought you were going to say the taco bar when you said one of our favorite places to come back to.
I said one. I
One
didn't say
of.
the. They found another place that they also really liked, and I'm looking forward to NPC or rerunning any of the voices that I used for those.
That was the pizza place? Breakfast place?
the It was the excellent
Yeah, the egg
diner.
place.
Oh, the one that gave us the special dessert. Mm.
No, that was the pig.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
right.
But I digress. We pull back into this space, and you guys had just come back. We can fast forward through the rest if you would like, but we don't have to. Would you like to pick up at re-arriving and sorting things out? You did drop off the ounce with Smith and Weston and made your beeline through grabbing some food and coming back.
I technically don't have anything. I need to do the night before.
We do need to figure out what we're doing with this water, and Cap asked us to keep some.
I mean, if we trade it to Smith and Wesson, or some of it to Smith and Wesson, that
We
could
could also
probably outfit our whole party with a lot of great things.
we could also see if Tulver can utilize it.
You have several options of people that you have learned of since coming to this place. Granted, it has only been 5 days since the earliest group of you came.
What? It's only been 5 days? It seems like way longer than 5 days.
You have only rested in this room 5 times. Well, 4, and you're coming up on your 5th.
Okay.
Time works differently in this place, evidently.
Yeah, no kidding. Um, by the way, it was the 95. Thanks to the advantage. How much longer does that advantage last?
Do you recall what it was from?
Yeah, my spiffy new clothes.
I am going to say that you get 3 more long rests out of it before the fact that they are new starts to wear off.
Actually, I'm going to our. Oh, you actually said for the next few sessions. And that
So
was
few sessions, 3 long
a month
rests.
and a
Each
half
session
ago.
is a day.
So we probably had 4 or 5 sessions since then.
Say you still have it this session.
All right. That's a
So,
good thing because my first roll was a 14.
so it is the night after the night after you had made your water run. Do you have any discussions you want to make? Do you have anything that you want to talk about or do before going to bed? And if not, what do you want to do in the morning?
Fuck it, I'll do something before going to bed. I'm gonna make a map of the area we visited today.
What's your scale?
uh so you know the map that we had for last night that we, set up?
Yep.
That kind of scale.
So there really isn't a scale.
For context, they went to a place or they went through Revolver's place and went to a land where everything was of dire size. The plants and animals and the fungus of the area were all like much larger And by much, I do mean like there was a moose that was 5 stories tall.
Hmm.
That's where they went to collect water. And they haphazardly befriended a giant ape.
So
I did
this
that on
is
purpose.
this was magical water.
Yes.
Very
Are
much
we
so.
certain? Are we certain that it wasn't just the uh, end result of a giant creature taking a bathroom break?
Mm.
Yes, it's
I'm
it was
having
it's a natural spring.
okay, because I'm having visions of the first Angry Birds movie where they're swimming and drinking this magical lake, and then Mighty Eagle comes out.
Well, we figured out that the actual enchanted water is actually what's making everything so
We
large.
have not figured that out. We theorized that's what it was. And that's why Cap wants us to save a bottle because he wants to test that theory.
But
I
yeah,
thought
I'm making it to scale.
Okay.
I thought that Tormy actually said drinking an amount of the water would actually make us grow larger.
No, he said
Cap
that
was
was
the
a good
one.
assumption.
Cap was the one that asked that question, and I said that was a good assumption. She is correct. But you're making a map.
Yes.
So go ahead and give me that tools dex check.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Excellent.
I love these fucking dice. Moto got me.
Isn't it
So
nice to find that good set of dice that just rolls so well for you?
Mm-hmm. I have like 2 sets that do so.
Your glow in the dark set?
Mm-hmm.
so it takes you about an hour due to just you trying to make the several miles that you walked seem correct to you in the perspective of how big everything was. You have markers for where you saw the different creatures, and you're fairly certain at the end of the hour that you have everything in the correct space. Anybody else want to do anything before the end of the night?
Well, Shawnee doesn't have to sleep now.
That is true.
So I would say that Shawnee's going to work on a painting.
Balon
Is
is just going to meditate on uh, the newfound powers that he has noticed that he has developed.
okay. So, Deshani,
Mm-hmm.
please roll me. Or actually, this is not the other thing that you were working on. So, please roll me a tools either dexterity or tools wisdom for your painting.
What do you mean tools?
Your painter set would be since you're proficient in it, it's one of those two, and then proficiency bonus, so it should be +3.
Okay. Um, oh, well, that is a 23.
Very nice. What what was the inspiration of this painting?
My ape friend.
It takes you a couple hours. You spend the same amount of time as Adraxin is doing his map work, and Balon is sitting and meditating. You spend that time and then even more as people start to bed down. Takes you 4-5 hours. But I've got a question. Are you
Mhm.
going for realism or surrealism?
Realism.
You capture the motion of his descent when you first met him. You have the right perspective, the right proportion. You blur the image for movement. It's a beautiful piece.
Awesome. Now, the other thing that we had discussed her developing, we haven't really talked about how that's going to develop. Or are you just going to pop that on me?
When you decide you are working on it, you let me
Okay.
know during the down actions, and I will make you roll for it as we go.
Okay.
So, um, Balon, you are focusing on the powers that you have that you have found yourself gaining. I would like you to roll an insight check and then a wisdom save.
Insight, joy. Oh, well, that's not bad. That's a nat 20 with a +0 modifier. And then you said a wisdom save
Yes, I did.
again. +0 modifier. That's also not bad. That's a 16.
You you peer inward into that space that they once filled. but they still feel that warmth that is missing. And you pull yourself deeper into this. There's no better word for it than whole.
There's no better word for it than what?
Than whole.
Okay.
You find it simultaneously comforting and distressing. This was a place of joy for you. But now, in this spot, there is nothing that can touch you, nothing that can hurt you. Nothing that can truly reach you. What is it that you want to take from this space while you are meditating on your newfound abilities? Or what is it you would like to put here?
I think taking away from it a sense of hope that traveling through the shadows will allow me the opportunity to achieve the goal that I have.
At the end of your before bed meditation, you find satisfaction in the weariness that has beset the rest of your body while your mind was inside. These were only a D100.
$33.
Okay. You don't know towards what, but you've made headway on something. And that will make sleep easier tonight. Is anybody else doing anything before bed?
Uh, so Bearden is doing his normal zooming around the room. But then he stops and he's thinking about something for a minute, and he pulls out that rusted dagger and pours the potion over it.
Do you recall where you got that dagger from?
On the street somewhere back in what was that town's name again?
Back home.
Yep.
You pour it on this small, old, rusted blade that is no longer a smooth object. You don't believe it could cut water at this point.
It cut bread when I had to.
It tore through bread.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, you pour this wonderful elixir onto the knife that you've had for so long that you can barely remember. The rust wears back. There's waves of different colors of silver, metallic colors that give motion to a blade that is just straight on one end and a simple curved edge that comes to a very neat point. The handle, the wood refreshes. It's no longer so rotted that you're almost down to the wow, my brain stopped. I know
The
the
tine.
thank you. It was almost down to the tine. It had rotted that much. It fills back in your hand. You feel texture in the handle, in the grip, and then you feel something else that was there that you never experienced. There were studs in the grip before you ever had it. And there's a small guard that fell off long or when you first picked it up. This knife, the blade is maybe 6 inches long. There's no jewelry to it. There's nothing that would make this an upper class knife. It was certainly made at an expense, and it was certainly taken care of at some point. But that was so long ago that you never would have seen it. It was before you were born. You look at this knife and you can see yourself in the reflection of the side of the blade, and
It's so pretty, it's leaving even the DM speechless.
you catch the painting that uh, Deshani is working on in the reflection behind you. And you could swear you could even see the hairs on the arms of that great beast swaying in the movement. You're not sure what it is. There's something about this knife.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, Jackson,
Yes.
um, I had a thought, and it might be really bad.
Huh.
What do you think would happen if I poured this potion on that boar's leg? Would it regrow the whole boar?
That's that is
I would bring
oddly
it back alive.
that is oddly terrifying thought.
At this,
But
Balon stirs out of his meditation and kind of perks up and starts listening in.
oh, Balon, can you look at this dagger for me? Something's about it. I just don't know what.
He holds out his hand.
Baron rolls over to Balon and hands him the dagger. But what do you think, Draxon?
I check
Think
out
of
the dagger.
Um, aside from the aesthetics that I brought up before, if you would like, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
think of all the trading we could do
And
if I use the potion on the
18.
leg.
18. There is a weak enchantment that seems to be here. You believe that if one of you took the time to study it, or if one of you knew how to identify, you could find out the exact potential of it. But there are, with that roll, you can tell there are two weak enchantments on it that were not available in its disrepaired state.
Interesting. Biren, would you mind if I hold on to this to examine it further? I'll give it back. You have my word.
If you don't know what it is, I bet we could ask Smith and Wesson. Surely they would know.
It is late. I am sure they are resting.
Oh, that's right. It is late.
And they may also have a price.
Please. Do you really think they would charge me for identifying this?
They do have to run a business, Biren.
And I saved him from missing dinner multiple times. Surely that's enough to get this item identified.
Why wait till the morning when Balon can take the time to spend with it tonight and do the same thing?
Oh, it'll be done that quick?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't think using the potion on the boar's leg is a very good idea because while this room is quite accommodating, I don't think it would do well with a live gigantic boar running through it.
Why don't we take that theory and put it to test on something smaller first?
Baron gets that super
Balon's
disappointed
Balon's listening.
look on his face. All right.
Balon's listening close to the conversation about this potion and whether or not it would work the way that they're thinking.
Over the table. Do you not remember the potion? You probably don't because of
I
mine.
I do not. But
It's
this
the
also
potion
would be
of
the
one.
first time that Balon has witnessed Beeryn using the potion. I
Oh,
remember
that's
you getting it.
right.
I just don't remember what it does.
Because I normally use it first thing in the morning while everybody is still asleep,
Yep.
and
Oh yeah.
a Draxon is in his meditative state.
Yep.
Over the table, it's a potion of what once was, and obviously it is as explained. I've used it on my two short swords, and they turned into crazy magical weapons when they
He's
were just rusted, beaten up, jacked up short swords.
he's also used
Um,
it on his clothes, and they just turned into nice clothes.
yes, Biren is now in fancy clothes. He thinks he is the shit because of these fancy clothes. He's never owned anything this nice before, and that's why
With
Tormund
his
gave me
Heelys.
a. Oh, I have super nice boots.
You got
Heelys.
those
Well, the Heelys were an item that were
from
given to me from Smith and Wesson because I said I wanted to be faster, and they damn sure can make me fast. I mean, because what was it like 200 and some odd feet in a single turn move?
if you're using everything for movement, yes.
But I have super nice boots still. Um,
That are
my
not the healers.
pants, yeah, my pants turned into super fine leather with some kind of um, comfy inside lining, and my shirt turned from a ripped up, torn up short sleeve shirt into a like full blown long sleeve fancy poofy shirt.
It also went from being like charcoal brown black to being almost white.
Yep.
But
That's what made me wonder. I wonder what would happen if I used that on that leg. Would it bring back the whole boar? And then we could kill a giant boar and have massive amount of food to trade or eat.
Balin pipes up. This would be an interesting theory to test out.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. See, he knows. We should try this.
Not in here.
I'm not saying it's not an interesting theory to test out. I'm just saying perhaps we test it on something smaller first and then do the boar's leg.
Bonnie's literally just like giving out responses as she paints, not even looking up. Not in here.
just kind of motioning at the giant gorilla.
We could always go back to where we fought those spiders and see if one of those are still around. At least if it actually does come back, then all we have to do is kill it again.
Fine.
Maybe if you find a bug, kill the bug and try to bring the bug back, that'll give you your answer without, destroying the room.
Oh, oh. Baron starts zooming around the room searching for bugs.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
19.
After a couple of minutes, something strikes you while you are searching, and you realize that bugs normally don't go to a place that is this clean.
Thank God.
I find it hilarious because the screen on your fucking background says bug hunt.
In general, insects go to places that have dust and dirt and grime to live in so that they can make a place to live. Places that are too clean are almost poisonous to them.
Yeah, tell that to the bugs in our area.
Ugh.
Modern bugs are a breed apart from what they used to be. But yeah, uh, the night wears on. Most of you run into your rest, and it is a good rest. You've been the adrenaline of the day has drained out of you the physical exhaustion of what you have gone through, the mental steps that you have taken since getting back of reviewing things and having your conversations over the different items. And sleep takes most of you. One of you continuing to furiously work at a canvas. As about an hour before the two elves break their trance, Deshani, you finish your painting.
Mm-hmm.
That motion of fur, the you can see the hunger in the eyes of the giant ape that is on this 3 foot wide canvas. And though it is a small replica, you can almost feel the immensity. What are you doing with the wee hours of the day?
Everyone else is still sleeping?
You feel like you have about an hour before the elves rise from their rest, and probably about another 3 to 4 after that of everyone else getting up.
I am going to sit and focus on any energies emanating off of those that are sleeping to see if I can feel the emotional energy of their dreams.
I would like you to roll a perception, an insight,
Okay.
and a D100 in that order, please.
Okay. Perception. Ew, sucked. That was a 3 on perception. 19 on insight. And the D100s. You're gonna have to give me 1 second for that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 48.
Okay. So you feel more than you see. You're not paying as much attention to their physical breaths, their postures, their sleeping movements. That escapes you today. Instead, you're paying more attention to the expressions of their face as each of them rest. A twitch of the cheek, rapid movement of eyes from left to right and back again, soft mumbling. You know that not a single person in this room has had a truly easy life. Everyone has seen their share of terrible things that could have easily choked the life from them, put out that the flame of their life. You feel different warmths throughout the room at each of your companions here. There is a blazing heat in Horby. There is a soothing warmth in Adraxan. There's a quick flashing heat that pulses on and off from Biren. From Balon, you get a very slow throb of warmth to cool to warmth, cool. Cap. There is a soft warmth, like stepping into a room that has a hot bath running. There is a warmth that makes you feel that vulnerability is not a problem. Each of these, you feel like there is something that you could tap into.
Mm-hmm.
But as you start to feel, you start to try and tap into that, that is when your companions begin to, when your elven companions begin to stir. And you can continue to try feeling this out. And you may not have any reason to disguise this exercise from your companions that are now waking. Or you might have your own reasons for keeping it a secret. I leave that up to you.
I'll continue.
Okay. While you continue, I'm going to ask what the two elves waking up are going to do with the 4 hours that they normally have in the morning.
Viren, do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. So as Adraxon comes out of his trance, he takes a look around the room, seeing things as they were. Dashani still awake, lightly focusing on something. He grabs a let me find my inventory right quick. He reaches into the front part of his armor and pulls out the emblem of his family's house, the key that he had made by revolver. And he pulls it off and clasps it in his hand. And I am going to do a different type of morning meditation than what I usually do. I'm going to try to push straight into that area that I was in before, directly into it.
You've been in several spaces.
The
Which space are you
the
speaking of?
the dark space, the one that I made the painting of.
The dark side.
You take your deep breaths, and on the fourth one, it is this moment that you don't feel the breath leave you. Your senses have each slid away in that moment. And the only sensation you have is of floating? It's hard to really put a word to it. And the darkness around you, once again, is just absence, not really the color of black or anything like that. And the floating finally settles down, and you are in that space where nothing has a sensation or meaning. What is your intent here?
Before I just observed uh, the amorphous forms that I assumed were the essences of my companions, and the link that I had that tethered back to what I assumed was reality. I want to focus on trying to define each essence in a sense. Um, getting a deeper grasp on that connection.
It feels like ages because there's nothing to judge time here. You're not sure if it's mirror moments that just stretched on or whether it was hours. But one by one, those amorphous shapes that, for lack of vision, you still somehow sense. And each one the same color, that blue. And you start to sharpen what sense you have to try and reach out and get, once again, for lack of a better term, a grip on what that shape is supposed to be. There's no feeling, no texture here. You don't have your own limbs. There's no malleable form for you to actually mold with that you're used to in the physical. But there's suddenly just a hint of electricity. You're not sure where. Could be the tip of any limb, could be the core of your body, could be up your spine. There's just a moment of it. And the closest of these forms reacts. There's less of an amorphous form. It colludes down into a basic humanoid shape. Still no real features to it, but it is humanoid. It is laying prone, one arm over, one leg hanging down over the edge of something. You do it again. Again. See one form take in its humanoid form and that same electric sensation for just an instant. And you see this form, it, well, I say see, but it's not really seeing, it's feel. It's a sense you didn't know. You're still trying to understand. And this form is pacing. There's another one. Touch it. You get that electric pulse, and that one takes form, and it's soaring. It's above you. It's just arms, legs, and a body, but it is moving above you in a circle. Another one seems to be huddled and rocking as you touch. And another seems to be sitting with its head propped on the ends of its arms. You feel that tug once again at your core. What do you do?
I I am going to resist the tug and see if I can't make not make see if I can get a sense for who I've spent these last 5 days with, for the most part 5 days, who is represented how.
You feel a current run through you. Not like the instant of shocks from the images of these forms sharpening. This is more. This is more like having both of your thumbs on the top of a 9-volt. You feel that current. It's not heavy, but you feel it.
Okay.
The darkness takes on a sheen, a mist. Imagine if a fog made of if a fog made of purple had rolled through a completely moonless field. And the only light being given off was by humanoids that had covered themselves in something phosphorescent and blue. This is the the first thought that crosses into your mind of how you could compare this. There's no field below you, but that is this mist, this fog has given a background and a place for the light to actually bounce off. And you finally notice the intensity of what would have to be the eyes being brighter than the rest of this form. The one that's pacing. You are pretty sure is the one that has been so soft spoken and yet so willing to help others. The one rocking Probably the child that you've seen so much pain and joy in. One soaring. Well, that can only be one person, can't it? The one with their eyes covered, with their head on their arms, is the one who has had the hardest time remembering. And the one that looks like they have been tripped and fallen and have not gotten up is the one that has had such a dark intellect that you have come to know him for decisive magical action and immense curiosity. I believe that answers your question without directly saying each of them.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you feel the tug heavier.
I'm going to check. Do I see strings? Or not technically, see, but um,
Have the sensation of.
yes.
Are you speaking of around what can only be described as you? Or the others? Or the mist? Where are you looking? Where are you trying to sense?
The focus is on what can only his him, but to test or to see if the tethers he felt were possible the last time he was here, if those are the feeling of those are present.
Are you willing to strain for this?
No pain, no gain.
You sharpen your senses again. You feel like the last time your father had you lifting so many heavy rocks that you couldn't feel your arms at the end of the day. You feel that through your entire being without having a physical form. And you see tiny tendrils coming from your core to the others. So thin that if you weren't sharpening your sense, you wouldn't have noticed them.
And in noticing that, he will um, focus on the one soaring.
You feel an emotion and a sensation that conflict but are simultaneous. You feel searing pain and elation at freedom.
moving from that one, his focus shifts to the one that was rocking.
The sensations from the previous do not go away. They fade slightly, but they are still there. You move to this new target and you feel another two. You feel a pit within you somewhere gnawing at you. And you feel the weight of a responsibility that you don't know pulling down on what you would think is your shoulders.
His focus goes to the pit sensation, only but for a moment, what seems like a moment, and then he shifts his attention to the one pacing.
Again, the previous feelings don't leave you. They dull slightly, but you get another two. There is a swelling within you of hope. And there's a stinging somewhere at the top of where your body should be. Is it? It's not your head. Well, sort of. It's your eyes. Where your eyes should be. As you try to figure out where the pain intensifies.
You said that as of right now, all of the 6 emotions are present.
All six sensations are present. The latest two are the most sharp, the other two are slightly dulled, but still there.
His focus shifts inward on those sensations. Trying to
There is a direct sensation of all of these trying to meld within you that you have experienced when you haven't experienced it physically on you before, but you have experienced this in some of your training on hunts. You've seen some creatures that have been torn apart and their ability to heal stitched them back together, not whole like they were before, but something new, something tougher. You feel both halves of that as an amalgam of these six sensations. Something is being torn apart and it is melding back together.
Getting that he dares not push any further on any other additions at the time and will allow the pool to take him.
You come back and you feel immediately, you feel pit in your stomach. You feel searing pain across your shoulder and neck. You feel the sting of tears that have been streaming down your face. Until you take another long rest, you are going to have two problems that have hit you.
Yeah.
One, you are going to have a level of exhaustion,
Okay.
and two, you're going to have 10 less maximum hit points.
Okie doke.
They will both reset on a long rest. For those who have been paying attention to him while he was doing this, over the course of several hours, you saw him in his trance. There were a couple of times where he spasmed, and close to the end, he started to cry so much that he ran out of tears. While maintaining his breath pattern and his demeanor.
Stormy, would Deshani have picked up on this? Because that would have been the hour she
Def-
was.
Definitely. I do not foresee that you would have taken any time where somebody bursts into tears near you without, or that even if they are not like full on sobbing or anything, without you taking notice within at least a couple of minutes.
I do have a question, Tormy.
Hmm.
Um, would I know the three that I made contact with?
You can you can make all of the assessments that you believe Adraxan would draw those conclusions. And
It was the Pacer, the Soarer, and the Rocking Childlike one. Okay.
I guess I'm up now.
Mm-hmm.
do you have anything you want to do with your 4 hours?
Of course.
What would you like to do?
Zoomy.
Coming out of his trance, noticing that Dashani is still awake, he immediately gets a worried look on his face. Shawnee, what are you doing awake? You're supposed to be asleep.
Well, pretty focused, just kind of shrug my shoulders. I don't know, just don't need sleep anymore.
That's weird.
Maybe some of my mother's genes are coming through stronger.
We at least need 4 hours trance. Did you trance?
Nope.
I, but you're not supposed to be awake yet.
Kind of just grins a little bit. I get so much more done without sleep.
Biren starts thinking, how am I supposed to take a bath with her awake? It's all open in the room here. Oh,
I mean, I would think there's some kind of separation because everybody's been bathing.
nope.
Nope,
That's
there
what.
are 2 open pools. That's it.
That's what
Aaron's
Biren
got an eyeful.
first thing in the morning, while a Draxon is doing his meditation thing because he's alone. He doesn't know what to do.
For me, check your DMs.
Then risk be sliding into your DMs.
That's fun.
He still thinks like a child.
Yeah, he definitely would have gotten an eyeful. Because Ashani is definitely gone and bathed there.
He at least was preoccupied, even if it was just zooming around the room.
Zoom zoom.
Uh, so I guess Dashani gets a slight feeling of embarrassment from Biren as he throws his clothes off and jumps into the pool.
She's not even watching because she's just focused, so. But gets a little grin sensing the embarrassment.
And Biren takes his morning bath. And what the fuck is that? Jeb.
Zoom, zoom.
Um so after his bath he gets all nice dressed up again and is doing his normal morning calisthenics, zooming around the room when he sees a Draxon spasm for the first time. And over the table, I rolled a 3. Biren starts freaking the fuck out, not knowing what the fuck's going on with the Draxon. seeing him spasm and cry and not knowing he's never seen this during Adraxan's morning meditation. It, he freaks out and zooms over and dives behind Dashani. I don't know what's going on. What he doesn't do this normally. What's going on? I I, I
Stormy, would Deshani sense anything coming off of Adraxan?
Intense focus. It doesn't seem like he's feeling what's happening to him just yet.
So I'm going to
it's bad.
place a hand on his arm and just say,
It's
he's
bad. No, he doesn't do this normally. No, it's
nope.
bad.
He's
It's
he's
bad.
just he's just focused. He's
It's
just
bad.
focused. He's not. He can't feel it. It's okay. He's not hurt. He's okay. She'll pay extra focus to his state.
Okay. Adraxan, if you do me a favor and
Yeah.
roll me a D100.
You got me.
Baron starts.
65.
Okay.
Baron starts to calm down with Dashani's urging. It's not right though. Something's
I'm
wrong.
monitoring him.
Would
What does
this be about the time that Adraxan comes to?
Um, shortly after you've actually gotten Biren calm from the freak out over the spasm, he starts crying. Not Adraxan starts crying to that heavy point where he, within minutes, runs out of tears. I'm gonna let that play out, and then you will wake up.
Okay.
and now he's crying. What's something's wrong? Something's really wrong. It, it,
I'm monitoring his emotions.
this is not how the morning goes. It, no. No, something's wrong. It it hasn't been
Shakes her
wrong.
head.
No,
Nope, I'm monitoring him.
but no, this is not how it goes.
Sometimes we just have dreams. And he is focused. He's not in pain.
We don't dream. We trance.
He's focused. He's not in pain.
And he meditates when he comes out of his trance. He doesn't meditate like this. No. Something is wrong.
He's not in pain. He's just focused.
Biren starts crying.
Now I'm feeling both of them.
And
It sucks being an empath.
shortly after Biren starts crying, Adraxan comes out of it.
See? He's fine.
and all of it hits you at once.
Seeing Draxon come out of his trance, Bryn runs and jumps and buries his face in his chest, crying still. Something's wrong. What was wrong? What happened? It
It's
no,
it's
uh,
he just places a hand on the back of his head.
it wasn't right.
I'm okay. I just delved a little deeper than perhaps I should have this morning.
All you can hear from Baron is muttering, and it wasn't right. It wasn't right. No, it wasn't right.
It's all right. I'm learning new things as I explore. It seems I can relate a bit to you. And
Baron starts crying harder at that comment.
As these extra tears start to be shed, Balon wakes, the dagger in hand, an understanding of it, as well as a welcome dream had arrived in the night. It wasn't a passionate or a sorrowful memory. It was a moment years ago when they were still there. A crib, a warm hearth, and a kiss on a cheek. And then another moment of a field, giggling, rolling down a hill. These memories came and helped revitalize you in the night as you were letting that hope take seed. And as you were also focused on the knife, you learned of what it can do. It has two properties, both based on looking off the reflection on the blade. One, if you look through the blade and at something that is magic, it will either give off a very faint glow or appear to move, even though it's stationary. And the second, you can peer, you can have a chance at seeing through illusions. basically, it gives you advantage on being able to tell if something is magic, as if it was detect magic without the spell, but you have to roll a perception check. And the other is also advantage on perception check against specifically illusions. Are you giving us
Interesting.
your best stuff on mute?
No,
Okay,
I was just listening.
so
So
between your dreams and the realization of everything that this knife can do, and the scene that you wake up to of two of your companions having tears run down their face and excitedly talking back and forth, I give the scene to you.
excited back and forth, probably not from Baron.
Oh, it's excited. It's just not the I'm happy excited.
Animated.
You
Baron is
are
freaking the fuck out right now.
Well, Balon's going to hide the feelings that he had from his dreams like he normally does, and taking in the scene, he's going to be a little confused as to what's going on. He walks up, seeing Biren's reaction. Did somebody die? And I
So
wasn't
real
there to witness it.
quick. Sorry. Would Deshani have picked up on the emotions that he's hiding?
give me a perception check.
Okay.
Actually, no, give me an insight check. I'm sorry.
Would that be contested by anything on my end?
Are you trying to hide the emotions?
Yeah, I said he's hiding the emotions like he normally does.
Okay.
Would that be deception?
I'm on the wrong sheet. Give me Yeah, give me a deception check.
And quickly over the table while he's doing that, it sees through illusions, and if I'm looking at something magical through the blade, it
So
moves or what?
the mechanical ability is basically if you are using it as looking through its reflection, you have advantage on perception checks that allow you to identify if something is magic and to be able to see through illusions.
Yeah, I put advantage on perception looking at magical or illusions. But I was trying to get the actual wording of it.
If you are looking at something that is obviously magical, uh, you end up seeing either a very light aura or it movement when it is still.
All right, that's what I was looking for.
My insight was 23.
Yeah, my deception was not that good. It was only a 12.
I almost had a
You
net 20. I was so close.
I should have been able to beat it, but I only rolled a 5 on the die, so.
happens.
Yes, it does.
So
This is why we roll.
you feel not only the general emotion that has that he is that I will allow him to like inform about. You also feel the guarded emotions kind of brick wall that you have felt off of people that needed that. So do
The
with
I'm
that
not
what
ready
you will.
wall.
Pretty
Do with
much.
that what you will.
That's pretty much exactly what it is. The I'm not ready wall.
Oh, and over the table, because of the long rest, Adraxan switched to summer. So he's back to his original look of the flaming hair and
Okay.
sun-like eyes.
So what is the Balon emotion that she's picking up?
She's picking up the joy from the memories, but also the immense sadness mixed with uh, fury, almost like a driven focus based off of fury,
Vengeance.
vengeance. There you go.
Okay. She's not reacting. She's just storing that away.
An
She's not
emotional
going to acknowledge any
fire.
of it because of the I'm not ready wall.
An emotional fire for the boiler that is his magic.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. So Balon walks up and says, "Did somebody die and I wasn't here to witness it?"
Traxon looks up at him. No, nobody's died. Just went a little deeper in meditation this morning and had some any
It
kind of
wasn't right.
pauses
It wasn't
kind of
right.
pauses for a moment as the twinges of pain are still present and
And you
I'm
woke up so fresh.
right. Gonna start doing this shit before I go to bed. We're gonna split the trance up the opposite way. 4 hours meditation, then sleep. No. But
It would probably make Biren feel better if you did it that way.
probably. I I've been testing new senses
But then
and
Biren would probably be freaking out that you're not awake when you're supposed to be.
and traveling that path has led to some connections, deeper understandings, and, well, the drawbacks that come with them. As his eyes kind of move from Biren to Dashani to Cap, and then back up to Balon.
I say Balon just nods in understanding.
I do feel a little worn, though. Definitely going to have to probably do that before I trance for the night.
No, don't do it again. Don't do it again. No.
Johnny
Biren,
winces a little bit because of the anxiety.
Biren, please roll me a D100.
And I'm guessing this is not with advantage.
This is not with advantage, and this is not for your attitude.
I rolled a 3.
Unfortunate, but you'll get there. You feel, amidst all of your panic, you feel like you're starting to get somewhere with something, and you're not sure what that means.
He
Would Dashani feel that as well?
This is not an emotion, it is a sensation.
No, she's just feeling a fuck ton of anxiety.
And I'm pretty sure you're getting blasted with everything coming off of Adraxan at the moment that he woke up with.
Yeah.
And Baron's emotional turmoil as
That's
well.
what I said. That's the anxiety.
as well as Balon's.
Yeah. Tashani's just like tweaking.
It's a good thing
Yeah,
Cap
it
isn't
sucks
here
being an
tonight,
empath.
because ooh,
He takes Biren and sets him down. Like, just sets him down on the bed. It's all right. I'm fine. Take a deep breath
Please.
and relax just a bit. I'll explain as best as I can as to what I've been doing.
I need to make another roll for myself real quick. 1 second. Oh my god,
Well,
that was the 1 on the
do
D100.
you how about you wait, make your roll after Balon presents the dagger to him. By the way, I've got this figured out for you.
Hmm?
Oh, shiny. That
Typical
was
kid.
perfect. Perfect fucking moment, too.
Typical kid. Toy?
And Balon explains how it works.
I can see through illusions?
If
And
you are perceptive enough.
perceptive enough. Baron looks at Adraxan. What does that mean?
How good you are at looking at something. Or
Oh,
things in
I'm
general.
good at looking at things. It's okay.
You also know that because of the weakness of the enchantment, this does not require having it attached to your soul with no attunement.
Well, that's a good thing because I'm already kind of attuned out.
It also means that you can go or somebody can ask you for it if
Yep.
need be.
Seems you have a very useful tool there, Biren. You should cherish
I
it.
have lots of useful things.
Woo! Some excitement.
Useful. What were we talking about?
Shawnee's going to immediately detach from his emotions. Whew.
Over the table. It was a good thing that you made that distraction because that 23 turned into a 93.
Well, there we go.
You all right over there, Deshani?
Just need a minute. Gotta
She didn't sleep.
recollect.
Draxon, she didn't sleep.
Didn't sleep.
What's wrong with her?
It's not completely unheard of, but different.
Come to think of it.
But she always sleeps for 8 hours. Baron sound he feels like he's whispering, but he's kind of talking at a normal level. So everybody hears what he's saying, even though he thinks he's trying to be sneaky about it.
Seems
What
I've
were you,
taken on some of my mother's traits. Or
what were
some
you
more
gonna
of
s-
them.
what were you gonna say, Tormy?
I'll bring it up towards the end.
Okay.
We're good right now.
Oh, that was an interesting way to wake up. Well,
You're telling me.
yeah, you did just rise from bed. Ah, 4 hours meditation was probably definitely gonna have to start testing that before I sleep. But
Shawnee's just gonna mutter, I need some aspirin. You all are exhausting.
as are you.
Balon doesn't have any facial hair at all, like no eyebrows, no hair, no facial hair or anything. But you could just see like the skin wrinkle as he raises an eyebrow.
Baron moves back over to Deshani and reaches in his bag and pulls out a little box, pulls out a little blue bead. Will this help?
What's that?
It
Is that
is a
aspirin?
bead of refreshment.
I think we should hold on to that. We're going to be in situations I think we might need it more. I'll do fine with a cup of good tea.
What is tea?
It's
Ah,
a beverage made from leaves.
and as
And it contains something that
Leaves.
this kid does not need.
as Beer moves over to the Shawnee, Adrenaline is just going to get up with a groan and head over to the baths.
That's right. Baron. He's naked too.
Just be glad I didn't do what I planned on doing with the Draxon.
Permanent nudist. No.
No.
At the comment, Deshani gets another flash of embarrassment.
I did not think that we were going to have an entire episode, but uh, just in your room, but
Sorry.
here we are. Hey, I'm the one that showed up late because of traffic, and everybody needs sleep because it's almost midnight. So
Yes, 5:30 is going to come awfully quick.
so
Yes,
here's what I'm going to
9:50
ask
is
from
gonna come real quick tomorrow.
each of you. Because of the intensity of this very short game or this very short session, and the fact that like you all got very deep into the things that are driving your downtime, I'm actually going to reward you by asking you to roll a D100 again, each of you.
At dawn, we get emotional.
Baron is always emotional. What are you talking about?
So from the top of my list, Deshani,
Hold on,
what
my
was your
I'm blind as a fucking bat. 56.
okay? Adraxon. Did we lose him?
Yeah, I got to the point where you said you got very deep into, and then
Ah,
everything from.
it breaks down to please roll a D100 again.
Okay. Wow. Okay. 82.
Okay. Biren.
I'm gonna send this to you because you're not gonna believe it.
Roll 100.
Nope.
A 1.
A 1.
Yep.
You are so unlucky with that. I'm sorry.
I
I don't feel as
I
bad.
gotta stop. I gotta stop rolling the D&D Beyond dice for my D100s. I really do. But I don't have any
Tens.
D10s or D100s in my room right now.
I don't
Okay.
feel as bad now.
And Balon.
Did you get a 5?
A 27.
Hey, I rolled one of those earlier tonight, so I understand.
Okay. So with that, you will all, as you end up getting those things worked out, I will tell you as you breach your cap and we discover what your next new worked out ability is. With that, as the excitement and waking of the entire party happens and you begin to have your morning conversations and get used to what's going on. This is where we're going to swirl back into the dark of reality and leave our wonderful fantasy land behind. Thank you for listening to our little story and watching along with us. Please feel free to come to our Discord and join in the games that we have here. Or, you know, come along and just sit in on something that we happen to be playing that night. We've got a couple of experiments that are happening soon, and we have live role play going on all the time. You all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night, and see you on the other side of the gateway. Bye.